Hi everyone, today I'm doing some carnivore meal prep and I'm using all lower cost cuts of meat. I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com, where I share keto and carnivore recipes and other cooking ideas, showing you how I lost over 125 pounds doing keto and carnivore and variations thereof. And I hope you come along on this journey with me. Check out my website, check out my other videos. For those of you that are returning subscribers, welcome back. I really hope you like today's video. Okay, so today I am prepping all beef, and I have chosen lower cost varieties, because it all costs a lot these days. And I've been hearing a lot of people in Facebook groups and online talking about the price of beef. Yes, it definitely has skyrocketed. So I went shopping yesterday to get beef for my meal prep for this week. I am going to be eating all this, and I wanted to go lower cost because the prices of all my favorites, you know, like ribeye and New York strip, those types of things, those are very expensive, even at Costco. You know, sometimes you can get them on sale. If you can get them on sale, then great. But none of these were on sale. It's all regular prices. And so I wanted to share with you what I got. I picked all this up yesterday, so I wanted to share with you what I have here. So first up this is from Costco. These are beef back ribs, and I thought they looked good. They look like big, juicy ribs. There is quite a few in here. This for me, this would be 2 meals, I think. The price on this is $6.80 a pound. So that's not too bad. Yes, there's bones in them, but still not too bad because they're going to be very nice and juicy and tender when I get through with them. The next thing, I got these from Walmart. These are called Beef Sirloin Tip Quick Roast, Canada AAA. I bought one of these the other day, and I made it, and it was so good. It went in no time, and so I went back to get 2 more. I got them from Walmart, and the price per pound is $8.96 a pound. What I will be doing with these is I'm going to sous vide both of them today. And one of them, after the sous vide is finished, one of them will go in the freezer so that I have it ready for next week. And the other one, I will sear it and slice it thin. It'll last 2 or 3 days for meals. So that's that one. This one here is my absolute favorite thing at Costco, and I wanted to leave it intact so you could see what you're looking for when you go to Costco, because it doesn't look like much. This is I call it picanha because that's what I believe that's what it is. They call it top sirloin, cap, whole, culotte in French underneath, because we have French language laws. You have to label it in English and French. The price of this is a staggering $7.23 a pound for what I think is the best deal at Costco. Canada AAA beef. It is so juicy and tender. It is definitely one of my favorite things, and 1/3 of the price of a ribeye. So I'm going to cut this apart. I'm going to cook one of them today and put the other one in the freezer. Lastly, ground beef. Now, ground beef these days is about $6.99 a pound. It's not too different, honestly, from these things. But yet, you can get it around here as low as $4.99 a pound. Now, if you're wondering about the prices I'm quoting, it could be completely different from where you live. I'm in Western Canada, I'm on the coast, and these are the prices we deal with. Normally I'm paying, this one is lean ground beef. It is grass-fed and grain finished. So this, I believe this was $6.99 for a pound. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to do some smash burgers with them, but I'm going to see how things go here. Because I'm going to have our heat, we have a couple of cool days, so the heat's not too bad, but I still don't want to turn on the oven. I'm going to be using other appliances to cook all these. So I'm not quite sure 100% what I'll do with these, but I'm going to do something, we'll get to it. So I'm actually really happy with these prices, and this is enough meat to last all week, and this should be good. And I'm going to go and get the things I need, bring them here, and see you in the next segment. Okay, I'm ready to go here with the beef ribs. I'm going to get them started in the crock pot. It's basically set it and forget it, which is one of my favorite things about cooking in the crock pot. You just put them in there, put it aside, and go on to do other things. So what I have here, I do it pretty simple. I have got, I've mixed some kosher salt with some white pepper. Because I do react badly to black pepper. White pepper sits very well with me. So, and I use a mix of 3 to 1. So I'll put in 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon white pepper, and I go with that ratio. And then I just, kind of mix it all together with the fork, and that's my rub. You don't have to use anything, or you can just use salt. I know some of you just use salt, so that's fine. So I am just going to, just rub some on to these big juicy ribs. Oops. Try to get all the sides. If you have any of those big chunky short ribs, they're like usually a sort of a cube rectangular shape. What I'm doing here works really well for those. I love those. But this is what I found at the store. So I'm trying that same technique with these ribs. All right, so I've got that in there. I have a bit of a mess on the counter, but I'll clean that later. So then the other thing I like to put on is just regular yellow mustard, and I just kind of do that.
You gotta get it to the bottom. Okay.
So here we go. Kind of try to get some on every rib.
Just like that.
Again, if you don't like that idea, you don't have to use it. It's just something I like to do. It seems to impart some great flavor. I'm just going to grab a little pastry brush. I mean, I could just leave it like that, but usually I kind of brush it on. I don't typically with ribs add extra liquid. It is going to create a lot of its own here in the crock pot. So I'm not going to bother with that. And put the lid on. Now I've got it on low, and I'm thinking probably 6 or 8 hours on low. The nice thing about this crock pot, it's got a low and a high. So if I'm thinking I want something for dinner and it's getting, within an hour or so of dinner and I want it more tender, I just turn it to high for the last couple hours to just, get it going more. You can do that. So I think if you wanted to cook it on high to have it faster, I'm thinking that would be 4 hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours. It should be like falling off the bone when it's done. So for now, I'm going to stick with low, and we'll see how long it actually takes. And I'm just going to clean this up and go on to the sirloin tip roast. Be right back. Okay, we're ready to start the next meat. I've got 2 sirloin tip roasts here. They are super tender. They're tied up with string, and I'm going to be putting them in the sous vide. So because they're so tender, This does not need to go very long. I'm going to set it for 3 hours at 127. Now for me, it'll be completely cooked, but it'll also be medium rare to rare, which I really like. And then when they're done, I'll sear them, slice them thin, and it'll just be cold roast beef for throughout the week, which is something that I really like. So I'm just gonna set this now. Okay, so I've got it set 127 for 3 hours. I added some more kosher salt in here. I'm going to rub them down with salt and white pepper. This is rosemary sprigs. I like to add thyme too, but I didn't have any. So these will just go in the bags, and just to impart some flavor. Again, not required. It's up to you and how you prepare your meat, you know, what you like to do. So we'll start with rubbing them down with salt. Now, when I took them out of the bag, I patted them down really well with paper towels so that they're nice and dry. When you do sous vide, it's a good idea to put on more seasoning than what you think you need, because there's something about it cooking under vacuum that you just want it really well seasoned in order for it to retain the flavor afterwards. So that should do it. I use, for these bigger pieces of meat, I use the Ziploc bags. They are BPA free as well as rated for, I think it's up to 450. So yeah, you don't want to use, if you're going to use plastic bags, you don't want to use cheapo plastic bags like dollar store stuff, because they're not going to, I don't feel like they're safe enough for sous vide. I do have silicone bags, but they are not big enough for pieces of meat this size. I'm going to put the rosemary in, a little sprig, and I wish I had more, or some thyme as well, but that's okay. And I'm going, would you believe I couldn't find fresh garlic yesterday when I was at the store? It's like
they're out. How can they be out?
I had to buy a jar of garlic. I'm just going to put a teaspoon in each one of these. I guess you could use garlic powder as well, or none. Okay, we're 1 degree away from being up to temperature. I'm leaving a little gap in the plastic bag here so that when I lower it into the water, if there's any air in there, it'll bubble out. We are up to temperature. I may have to take some of the water out because these are 2 big pieces of meat, and so we'll see where we land here. Okay, that's 1 submerged. All right, that should do it. Okay, so they're both submerged and right around the maximum level there. I might take just a wee bit more water out. Pinning it down like this does help to keep it submerged into position. And I'm just going to take a bit of water out. Okay, that should do it. So that's going to go for 3 hours, and then I'll be taking it out and searing it, and then it'll be ready to slice up. So I'm going to clean this up, and we'll be back in the next segment. Okay, so now I am going to do the smash burgers, and it's going to be simple in a frying pan, but I do like to take these flat burgers. I mean, the burgers will end up flat, but in order to get that effect of I think it's called the Maillard effect, I do this. I'm gonna roll them up in a ball. Trust me, it does make a difference. Try it for yourself. Don't trust me, try it for yourself. You'll see it makes a difference in how that crust on the burger forms, and that's what makes it a smash burger. No seasonings, you can season them after. Going to roll this all over to the stove and cook these up. Okay, so I've got I'm using leftover bacon grease. I've got it melted here in the pan. You want your pan to be super high heat. And yes, I do have a splatter screen to help with the mess, although it'll still make a mess. Okay, so what you do is you put your meatball right in the middle, and you use something like this to press it down and twist so that it chars as you're smashing it down. So I will just do that right now. You want to hear that sizzle. Also, just want to say, if you can get one of these that doesn't have the ridge, I would have preferred that, but this is what I have, so. And you let that cook for a minute or so and flip it over. So you want it to be on the highest heat that you can withstand in your kitchen. This does really help with the grease splatter, so yeah, it's a good idea. Outside is even better. You know, if you've got like a cast iron piece for your grill, that's great. So I am going to cook the rest of these up, and then we'll meet you back at the island. Okay, so here's my smash burgers. I have 4 of them, so they're approximately 4 ounces each. What I like about the smash burgers, as opposed to just having a regular burger, is for some reason to me, they taste better cold from the fridge. I can grab one. You do have to salt them afterwards. There's no seasoning right now. But yeah, I love how they are from the fridge. These make a great grab and go type situation for my upcoming week. So yeah, well, see you back in the next section. I am going to pull out one of these. The other one I'll just leave in there for now. It doesn't matter if it stays in there even as, you know, up to an hour. But I'm gonna pull one out and I'm going to sear it and then slice it. So I'm gonna take it over to the stove to sear it. So follow me along. Okay, so I've got this turned on high. This is the same pan I fried up my hamburgers in just a bit ago. May as well use the tallow that the hamburgers produced, the fat, to sear my roast here. So I'm just going to put it in the pan. What we want to do is just make the crust nice and brown looking. Okay, so I've got this all seared. You just want to get some brown crust on it. It just makes it look a little bit nicer. You can certainly go for a bit longer than I did. I'm going to slice this up nice and as thin as I can. I mean, if you have a meat slicer, that's even better. So what I love about the Sous Vide is that you get whatever you like, whether it's rare, medium rare, you get it end to end. There's none of this half cooked and, you know, rare in the middle. You get it just the way you like it. And this is just the way I like it. And I think the dogs like it that way too. Well, I think my knife needs some sharpening. So I'm just going to go sharpen my knife, finish slicing this up, and then we're going to be back to show you how to do the sirloin cap roast, otherwise known as picanha. Okay, so the last piece of meat I am prepping today is this piece of sirloin cap, also called picanha or culotte steak. This piece is particularly small. It's 1 pound, 10 ounces. So I'm going to treat it basically like a steak. And the way I normally cook this particular piece of meat is I sear it. I sear this fat cap for 5 minutes in a cast iron pan. And then I put the cast iron pan in the oven for about 10 minutes a pound. And I'll link down the video below where I have a video where I do exactly that. I don't want to turn on my oven, not even for 10 minutes today. So I'm going to do it in the air fryer. So I'm going to basically air fry it at high for 5 minutes. And then I'm going to switch this to the bake option and bake it for about 10 minutes and maybe 12 minutes. And I think that should do it. So we'll see. Hopefully that works out. I haven't done it that way before. So salt and pepper again. I'm just gonna rub it all over. Okay, so we're gonna get this going here. I'm air frying and I'm going to go high, 425, 5 minutes. Are you waiting for something, Teddy? We'll go for a walk after this, okay? We'll go for a nice walk. You're hoping for a piece of steak, right? I'm sure that will happen. Okay, I'm gonna put it in, fat side down, 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to flip this over now and reset this to bake. Should have a nice crust on it. Yes, that looks good. I'm going to bake this for 10 minutes and then I'll check the temperature on. I'll put it on for 12, check the temperature at 10, and then either let it go the extra 2 minutes or not. So I'm going to bake and I'm going to put it down to 325 because with the Ninja you should lower what you would normally use by 25 degrees. And 12 minutes. There we go, 12 minutes. Okay, so I just took the temperature. I think it's close enough. I'm going to turn it off and take this baby out. It looks amazing. Oh boy. Okay. I suppose I should let it rest. I'm gonna let it rest for about 3 minutes. That's all the patience I have. And then I'm going to cut it. All right, that's about all the patience I have as far as waiting for this thing to rest. I did want to mention, it's pretty easy to see that the grain of the meat is going this way, and you always want to cut against the grain. So I am going to cut this way. So I'll just face that towards you while I do that. Teddy is waiting very patiently. Do you think he'll know if I give him a piece of the end where it's not quite so medium rare? I feel like I'll be cheating him. I'm sorry, I'm going to save these parts for myself, Teddy. One thing for sure, I'm going to have a lot of choices this week in my fridge. And yeah, I can see I probably should have let it rest longer. There's juice everywhere. Okay, Teddy. I'm gonna cut a piece off for myself and taste it. Best meat at Costco, hands down. Okay, puppies. Okay, puppies. Come on. Sit. Good dog. Oh, isn't that good? Okay. All right, so just stay with me for a moment. I'm gonna do just a quick recap, get all the meat out here that I made, and tell you where you can find things. Okay, so just to recap, I still have beef ribs in the crock pot. What I'll do is I'll show some footage, like just a few seconds of footage later, because it's gonna be a few more hours before that comes out. But meanwhile, I'll be putting all this in the fridge. We did smash burgers. Yes, one got eaten. And the sous vide roast. This will be cold, thin slices of roast for the week. And our picanha, which looks and tastes amazing and is such a great deal. $7.23 a pound for that. I like it better than ribeye. And this was, I think, $8.69 a pound, and then $6.99 a pound. And the ribs were $6.80 a pound. So crazy, lower than ribeye and New York steak, but just as good. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the next video. I hope you liked today's video and got some good ideas for how to prep some really good tasting and tender, lower cost meat.
Hey everyone. No, I don't want to do that. Well, let's go with, I'll put in 2 tablespoons. Well, let's go with 1. 1 tablespoon of, no, 2 tablespoons. Well, let's go with 1. No. No. And plug in. What do you mean plug in? Okay, this is coming out. Well, no, it's actually not coming out. Never mind. Okay, I'm going to flip this over now and reset this to bake. No, you know what? I think I added all this hot water and now it's got to cool down.